foggy today. Up above where the mountaintops are, you can see a little bit of blue poking through. Pretty thick down here lower. Now today I'm checking on this road here quick. A friend of mine that has hounds, he told me that they found some wolf tracks up here 2 or 3 weeks ago. So that kind of tells me that if they're going to be back, they should be back pretty soon. Usually they run on a 2 or 3 week cycle. Bad thing about this road is that it's not plowed, and the first 2 miles of it are private. I do know the folks that own it, and I think they'd probably be fine with me trapping on it if I asked, but the thing with Idaho is we're like 3/4, maybe not quite 3/4, but almost public ground. So I really have a kind of a hard time asking people to trap or hunt on private ground. I mean, there's really not a need for it. Some of the stuff, like muskrats and beaver and things, they're, you know, the bottom ground is where it's private, and that's where the beaver problems and muskrat problems are, and they're happy to have you out there. I have a feeling that the wolves are the same way. They'd be more than happy to be rid of them. This rancher here, I know would be, but it kind of goes against the grain, you know what I mean? I don't know, I got weird ways. As warm as it's been this last week or so, I mean, it's barely been freezing really, and this highs have been real close to, well, mid-30s, real close to 40. I think yesterday it did get up to 40. So this snow is really pretty soft. It would be probably really good for snowshoeing, actually. It's not so great for driving on, though. It is kind of slick. I don't know, see what this looks like up in here. Might have to dig out the snow dog. I haven't had it out all last year. Jeff loaned me a side-by-side, and he brought it back by the other day when we went up, and I can't take it out. But this spot, there's a lot of blacktop in between my house and the snow, so I would have to either trailer it or not go with that. You can't really, you can, it's hard on the tracks to run them up the bare ground, especially blacktop. Being that it's not mine, I wouldn't do that. Actually getting a lot further up this road than I expected to. I think this cattle guard here is the end of the private ground. And now that I think about it, kind of screwed up here for today. I took my rifle out of the truck when I went with Jeff. So today is the day I'll probably see a bunch of wolves standing in the road I have to throw rocks at to make them move, being that I don't have my rifle. Can't believe I did that. I don't normally do that. Let's see what those tracks were. Yeah, they're just deer tracks. Some of them, like that one there, melted out enough that almost looks big enough to be a wolf, but it's not, just deer. I think that's fairly new. I don't remember this area being closed off in the past. I could be wrong though. In some ways, that's not a really bad thing, at least for trapping. If I find anything in there, that kind of cuts down on the number of people that might be up there walking dogs or driving around. Well, I'm really surprised. I didn't think I'd get this far up this road. Well, it's pretty up here now that I'm above the fog. The snow here really isn't deep, but it is slick. I'm kind of spinning out. So I guess I'll turn around here, and I think I'll dig out that snow dog. It'd be fun to come up here and take a ride on it anyway. The tires I have here, they're not bad tires, but they're basically street tread. They don't have really any grab to them at all. And even though I got my four-wheel drive working again, they are pretty slick on the snow. This is getting to be almost more like ice. It's pretty slippery stuff. The snow is starting to get a little bit of a crust on it from melting. Well, I don't know, if it doesn't warm up a bunch and melt, kind of hope it gets colder and freezes. One or the other. I don't think it's supposed to get cold again. We're done with this sub-zero stuff according to the long-range forecast. Well, I don't know. I like this area. It's only, as far as the reimbursement money goes, though, it's only a quarter as much. But you know, $500 is a lot of money still. And it's close to home. Talk about pretty. A lot of country up here, you know it? These trap setters that I modified yesterday, ground down, the welds look a lot better. A friend of mine one time, he told me, he says, you know what the difference between a good welder and a not so good welder is? I said, what's that? He says, 10 minutes and a grinder. Ain't really quite true, but it does make them look a lot better. But I didn't realize it or plan it this way at the time. But with this angle iron lip on there, look at this, it fits in here. Yeah, can't do it one-handed though. There we go, fits in there pretty compact. Kind of like that. I'll have to make up a case of some sort for it now, and that way I wouldn't lose them quite so easy. Anyway, see how things go. Maybe tomorrow I'll come back up here with that little sled. I need to get that snowmobile out too. I haven't messed with that for a long time. The troubles I was having with it, it's a pretty good one. It's a Polaris Indy. Forget the number of it, but it's kind of more than what I need for trapping. But a friend of mine who has since passed away gave it to me. He was using it on his ranch and got a new one, so he gave me this one. And I really like it, but it's expensive to run. You have to use the premium gas, which I do with the Snow Dog also. But it takes a 2-cycle engine oil, but you don't mix it in the gas. You put it in a separate little reservoir, and it's supposed to use it as it needs it. Well, when I was using it quite a bit, going up above my house there, I was checking traps 7 miles up the mountain, so a 14-mile round trip. I was using about a cup of that oil a day, and that stuff's $50 a gallon. So I was going through it really pretty quickly. I don't know how many cups are in a gallon, but not that many really. And the other problem was that the drive belt, I kept burning those up for some reason, and I haven't really figured out why. I changed inside the drive clutch. There's some little weights, and the way they work is when you rev them up, those weights kind of spin and push the drive gear out against the belt, and I changed those. I actually melted the aluminum on that one time before the belt burned up, and that was expensive. Those drive belts are $50 each for the cheap ones. For a better one, they're about $100. So I was going through about 3 of those in a trapping season. That's too much. I mean, that adds up in a big hurry. Plus, I had to trailer that. It wouldn't fit in my little truck. It would probably fit in this one. The length of it isn't so bad. It's the width where the skis are in the front. They're too far apart, and they're hitting my wheel hubs in that small truck. This one I'd have to measure, see if it would fit. It probably would. There's no reverse, so I can't back it in either. But anyway, it's a good snowmobile. I need to either get rid of it or use it, and I don't really want to get rid of it, as it was given to me by a good friend. After turning around just now, I noticed this. Hopefully you can see that. That's a cat track. It's pretty faint. It's on top of the crust. That's a deer. You can kind of compare the size. It's probably, I don't know, it's a little big to be a bobcat, but it might be probably a small mountain lion, I'm guessing. That mountain lion we saw down the river road here a few days ago. Let's see, I don't see any more here. It looked really young. I don't think that was more than maybe a 6-month-old mountain lion. Now this one, it could be about the same age or maybe a little bit less. If it is a bobcat, it's a pretty good size one. I think it's probably too big to be a bobcat though. I wouldn't mind catching one of those. The mountain lions I can't legally catch, and I don't want to catch one of those, but the bobcat season, it's still open. I think it closes like the 15th or somewhere in there of February, so I got a little bit of time left. I'd have to look to be sure, but I think it's right about in there. Talking about mountain lions, look up my friend over there at Idaho Mountain Built's latest video. I don't remember what he calls it. I'll have to look it up and put it down in here. Talk about neat. He saw a small cave, and he got to looking over there, thought he saw something move in the cave, and went to looking over there, and sure enough, here's a mountain lion in the cave. Now, the more he looked, there's 2 more. There's 3 half-grown kittens in there. Very, very cool. And he must have been using a tripod, because his video wasn't all bouncy like mine always is. It's really good footage and pretty dang neat to see. So, Idaho Mountain Built. Take a look. Now, these tracks here, maybe you can see them a little better at that angle. it's pretty bright out here. I don't think. Looks like it's probably a mountain lion. They're pretty round and the pad looks different. Really tough to tell. They're not very clear. So I know someone's bound to ask or tell me to just put on some tire chains. I hate tire chains. If I gotta put those things on, I'd just soon go home. I don't enjoy wallowing around in the snow and getting water and snow drip down your ear, and just not something I enjoy. I do have a set, but they're for after I get stuck, not before. I always thought this was kind of neat. What happens here is a wad of snow falls off one of these trees and rolls down the hill, and it does almost like rolling a ball for a snowman. This one's kind of a donut. That's kind of neat. Anyway, enough babbling. See you folks tomorrow, and thanks for watching. Bye.